Do not ignore any changes of the opponent. With my own eyes. He silently concentrated while the opponent was approaching. You still think, and when the moment of decision comes. The boy remembered his brother's teaching. That's the idea of the most intense. You have to be determined, so you don't have to swing the sword. For the second time. Then you speak out loud without hesitation, even in another. A steady blow of the sword to Confucius' head. He knelt close to the floor trying to lean in. The cotton pot didn't give up. Put down the sword with all your might. Kong's wooden sword flew out. It's going in a different direction. The end of the battle is about to be revealed. On the floor, only Chung Cotton was standing. Yo-won opens his mouth in wonder. Even the chief of the southern tribe is no exception. Kim Long doesn't believe in the truth. It is visible on Kier. The name of his beloved brother. Defeated to the point, the foam of the edge under the wooden sword of the dragonfly fell at the feet of Hoa Sun disciples. In a tragic way. Qian breathed hard to regain his calm. You turn the sword. Standing tall with both feet raised, a voice of thanks for the instruction. Hoa Paint Brothers hesitated and stood up to applaud. Celebrate the second victory of the martial arts. You won, Brother Shinkotan won. Won the South. In the front row. You look like you've passed out. Brother Panic Master. It's not possible to register now. Master Wee Sang was overjoyed. I am proud of my student. I don't even care if you call. Brother to brother. Come and see the situation of the chief. Brother. Chung Cotton walked down to the ring, in the cheers of his peers. Good job, brother. The Yogun suddenly stopped. Brother, you won the lottery. You can do what you have to do. Brother, go up. You can't lose if you want to lose. Chung Cotton spoke softly, like a pink feather. Put your hand on Chenen's shoulder. Chinese cotton is as if this is normal. You sit still, Ru. Chen asked me how I did it. What is the Chinese laughing at? What did you do to us? You said it's nothing special. I just made it possible for you to win. The tuna people are strong. At that age, of course. It is strong, but on the other hand, it is weak. Middle cotton, difficult to understand but weak. What are you talking about? Because they've learned so much. Compared to what they need to learn at that age. You keep asking, but you learn a lot. That's not a good thing. The center explains, to practice martial arts, it's like building a building. How strong is the foundation there? How strong are the floors below? It's going to be about that tower. How much higher can you build? But they haven't finished the first floor yet. We are looking forward to building a second floor. On Tuesday, they keep building up, without reinforcing the floors below. If you take that tower, VA collides with the one with the first floor, built perfectly. So what's it going to be? Chung Cotton understood and quickly replied. Of course, it will collapse. Standard always. The basis of martial arts training is only one. Use your body perfectly. Then attack the opponent accurately. From that basic thing the roots will grow. And then the tree's trunk hits the ground, and the branches grow all over it. Faster, more accurate, and more solid. I did not pass. Just help the brothers focus on that root. Brother, look. Movement of Brother Yogel. It's obviously much different than before. The bottom doesn't wobble. Broken sword path. The eye can see things calmly. And most of all, concentrated force. You can make the most of your whole body to take out a blow. Now that's enough. Just that one. It's possible to wipe out all your peers. The Chinese asked, if it's that easy, why other schools? They don't train like we do. The Chinese cut it off so easily. It seems like what you've trained so far. It's too easy. Brother shook his hand. No, I didn't mean that. I think it's easy conceptually. I spend 2/3 of my time a day studying. The rest of the time is to take care of yourself. Fostering devoted parents who do not deceive the weak. He does not desire to keep the sacred goods with his elders. Don't lose respect for the world. Treat truthfully with friends loyal to the nation. Can you live like that? Chan Cotton hard mouth, of course, is not possible. Why can't you? If you do that, you can become a gentleman. That? I gradually understood everything my spy said. Tell yourself that Ra means that. There is no AI doesn't know how to be a real gentleman. Both, like people who can do all of that. They are called gentlemen. Then, in an age, probably only a few people. In other words, even ordinary people know that very well. But they still can't do it. Middle but continues. The water from the eaves kept falling. There is a day. It can also penetrate the rock below. Whenever you want, rise up and rise up. It's not as important as effort. The ancients have always emphasized effort and rise up there. What else? Do you know the reason why? Because humans can't do that. You practice so much that you want to live again and again. Always pushing yourself to your limit. To rise up and rise up like that. If, in fact, it's possible to do these absurd things. Of course, it will be like that. Chun Cotton said, you made us. But this great spy interrupts you. The brothers did it all themselves. When the brothers can stand it, they were soon determined to win and lose. There's nothing to see. A bird that doesn't grow wings. I want to fly to the blue sky. It's time for it to jump before it breaks apart. That's the importance of space. Brother thought. Then out. That's what it means to practice all this time. This kid, where did you learn all this stuff? The results of subsequent wars prove what the middle butt says is true. We won again. We won again. In the blink of an eye for consecutive wins. Apart from me and Zogun, the martial arts of the remaining 7 brothers, there's not much difference. If in the previous martial arts match, the difference is huge. The next martial arts match, it hasn't changed much either. In other words, the paint is really. Win the South then, SAO. One by one, each of the disciples of the 3rd generation lowered the boards of the Southern sect. They didn't even believe they could do that. This is a dream they've never had. Never dared to think he was able to overcome the blue shirt disciples. They cheered for victory and we won. We really won. The 3rd generation has done it. That's 10 wins in a row. Their Bell brothers' life is getting happier. As if not too much. You're just sitting there clapping your hands and thinking. After 10 consecutive losses, 10 consecutive wins. Which side has more gas? Which side has the feeling of winning more? It's all so clear. Chinese cotton shakes the old saying Chinese cotton won. We won. Thank you for asking. The Chinese asked coldly. Just by this, SAO. We've lost 10 games in a row. Now we've won 10 more games. It's not just a draw. You Don T seem to know. Stand up. The voice is steeper than the SAO. In Dictionary of But Chum, we don't allow that word to exist. I feel like something is wrong, please. If you leave it like this, you'll spend the rest of your life. I'm so ashamed I don't know where to hide my face. People are terrified when the atmosphere is this happy. So let's cut back a little bit. Looking forward, please. Middle buttocks out his ears, held up the wooden sword. If you just end up with a tie like that, then we didn't start. The debt of stealing my Hoa Paint's precious sword has not yet paid off. Dare to speak indiscriminately in front of the chief. If they dare to despise paint like that, why? You can let those bastards get back safely. Yeah. If so, it's not my ass. You call out to the brothers. What you're about to do now. Brothers, remember to look closely. Don't miss any movement. You said you wanted to step up to the ring. Listen to that. The brothers looked puzzled towards the middle. They all looked at the shadow of his back as if mesmerized. That back shadow is the shadow of the back of the person who will guide Hoa-san to congratulate the great CA. After the victory of your children, in celebration of tears, he is still rubbing his shoulders and talking excitedly. The kids have done it. He was moved. That's right. That's right. That's right. The kids are brilliant. They're brilliant. You are happy in my heart. Even, I can't describe how I feel in words anymore. I can only repeat 2 words, right? I don't know how many times. Even if you die, you have a face to see your ancestors. Suddenly, he looked at the ring. Middle buttocks are coming out again. You don't understand. But why did he come out again? The same scene is like 2 different extremes. The horse is shaking, he said. These poor people are a bunch of bad people. To lose such a defeat, I dare to open my eyes to the south. SAO. You idiots. That made the honor of the South fall down to the ground. They lost to Hoa-san. In front of many people like this, we lost the paint. And look at it. 10 consecutive losses. Now his anger was too much. So pour it out on the disciples. Inconclusive SAO. Indecisive with those flowers SAO. Even Kim Long cannot accept America. The perfect victory of Nam just fell into the dung bin. You dare. He raised his hand and said, over there, wait. The old man turned to look. Kim Long looked up to see what was going on. I still have a question I want to ask you. Your Majesty, he startled to ask Hung. What's wrong, Chief? I see you in the middle, and follow from beginning to end, so I think you'll make an appropriate judgment. That's why I want to ask you something. As far as you can see, which side won this battle? He looked at him and silently thought, which side won SAO. It turns out, that's it. Turns out the mayor does not intend to end the Hoa with such an inconclusive result. I don't know what the mayor has in mind. But if you ask that, then the medicine we have to respond. He asked the others what they thought. It seems to me that we should make a distinction between winning and losing, just like the mayor said. The red shirt said that. If you have to decide to win or lose, it's not that Nam will win SAO. Because the second generation disciples are much older. The old man next to me objected. What are you talking about? The meaning of the flower. It's not about the future of the school. In terms of future prospects and developments, it's not the paint that wins. Because the third generation disciples won. The Kier restored it. What nonsense are you talking about? Not the third generation disciples of the South. It is younger than the SAO paint. If you say so, the second generation disciple of Hoa Sun, they are also younger than the male disciples. Mr. Kier also did not stop talking. The Lord said as the Lord saw it. Concluding which side wins, which side loses is difficult. You said you felt the same way, didn't you? But it ends like this. It's not that you've been watching. You will be annoyed. So we think that? I'd rather be determined to win. Defeat would be better. What do you think? South Korea has won 10 games in a row. Hoa Sun also won 10 games in a row. Except for those who lost the battle. The winners just have to fight each other. What do the villagers of Hoa Sun say? But not everything will be resolved. Your partner also opened his mouth when he heard you. Chun Cotton said that there are all second-generation disciples there. And we're all third-generation disciples. And take out the 9 billion martial arts, one by one. It's boring. If you fight, you have to fight. Whoever wins will fight the next one. And let's call this essay London. Keep fighting until the last one. Whichever side wins, that side wins. What do you think? The god Kim Long is furious when I hear what you say. You put your thumb on your neck. She's provocative. But if you do, just admit defeat. The old man laughed and said, What are you talking about, chauvinist? My ass understood your offer. But who are you? Dare to represent Hoa Sun, to make a proposal to our southern tribe? What qualifications do you think you have? You calmly replied, Then he can ask the chief disciple himself. Come on, it's not that hard to move. He said angrily, I'm criticizing your attitude. Everything in this world is in order. The mountain doesn't teach you the rules of etiquette. You find that offer uninteresting. He turned to look. The two men next door are also talking to each other. I actually want to see the next one too. I don't know the third-generation disciples. Against the second-generation disciples of the South, how much power can be exerted? I'm looking forward to it. Ignore whether it's fair or not. It's in our position. If you can watch another exciting fight like this, what could be more fun? I also agree with that. I would love to see me too. So now we just need the two sides to agree. Is that okay, you ask? He was still angry, sitting there shaking his whole body. You didn't expect it. What is that boy going to do now? Please agree, he said. What do you say? Sun said, we have to agree to a ridiculous thing like this. You said the chief. He's a very smart kid. It's a little too much, but I've never felt the foolishness. Children when talking to that boy. On the contrary, sometimes I feel like it's playing on my head. On your neck. A child like that. No reason. We don't know what we're worried about. It must have been in hand. So please, please agree. You're also a little hesitant. The eyes look at each other. No one said anything. He breathed a sigh. Very focused to make a decision. He said the paint agreed. The old man was surprised by his decision. It was his turn to be a coward. A quiet space. If that was the case, the South also agreed. You smile when both sides agree. Suddenly, Chun picked up his shirt and dragged it away. You're the name of this mess. You don't understand what you're doing. What are we doing? What are you going to do? How can we beat those second-generation disciples? But the second generation is Kim Long. That's the first genius, Kim Long. Maybe we have. You can also beat Kim Long. Why are we so strong? What are you talking about? Brother, said Who Won. Brother, I don't think people in this world need a conscience. Why do you calm down? Not because you suddenly made an unfounded offer, so. You also admit, don't dream. Absolutely can't win. Especially the name Kim Long. Yogan thinks if you are other second-generation disciples, maybe you can fight teasing. But it's not easy. The moment Kim Long left the battlefield, then maybe the third-generation disciples of Hoa-san have not been able to do anything. He was beaten to death in the blink of an eye. No matter what. Kim Long is also in another world. Middle Cotton asked, so what do you think? Do you have any plans? The plan, you think, is as a war wheel. What they're aiming for is so obvious. They will at least win a battle. Through a warring wheel. They will let the 9 third-generation disciples go up. Fight in a row to make my people lose their strength. Your ass will be the last to fight. The cunning little boy. Kim Long said confidently. Just don't lose. Up to 10 people fight 10 people. 20 people fight 20 people. How much you will lower? No. You must fall into the enemy's trap like that. He said cautiously. I'm out of battle and beat 10 third-generation electronics. There's nothing to be proud of. I will be the last fighter. The first man to go out to war sent me up. Yes, Elder, I'm not going to be a 7-star. You walk confidently into the ring. Middle Ass said, and laid out the plan, the dry monkey. This is the plan, you shouted. Hurry up and get out here. Buck is a little uncomfortable. You also stepped up. You think no matter how strong the mountain is, without proving that fact, then no one will know. Whether it's 2 or 3 times stronger, then only we know. You have to make that change, felt by others in their bodies, and see it with my own eyes, and let the whole gang know that. The paint is changing. That's the fastest way to find it again. Your reputation has fallen to the bottom of the paint. If so, You have to create a legend. To make the name Hua Sun more widely known. Third-generation disciple Hua Sun. Defeat the third-generation disciple of the South. And that, of course, is also interesting. And the third-generation disciple of Hua Sun. To defeat the second-generation disciple of San Nam. Of course, it's going to be amazing. But if the third disciple of Hoa painted alone, defeat all the disciples of the second generation of the South, how about this? It's going to be a hitchhiker thing. He said, Big Brother China. Remember what I told you to look closely. You absolutely must not miss anything. A child like that? No reason. We don't know what we're worried about. It must have been in hand. So please, please agree. He took 2 hands with the sword. Third-generation disciple, Hoa Sun, Chung Myung asked to be martial arts with the southern tribe. He also performed the same ritual. Second-generation disciple of the South, Liu Bok accepted the request of martial arts of Hoa Sun. Chung Cotton sits under worry. There's something very different about that boy now. If it were normal, it would provoke the enemy. Until the moment when the battle is about to begin. Even the shadow was like a sword that was about to enter the battlefield. I told Zogun not to miss it. No, don't miss any movement of the middle buttocks. You said yes, brother. You said never to blink. You are now like someone else, he said. Today, we're going to make a legend. I will fix your house. Since when did Nam have that kind of swordsmanship? You suddenly asked. Celiac attack middle buttocks to low, without a moment's rest. You step 1 foot up. A sword that broke his spell. I'm also very surprised what you think. He solved his sword. To your power to counterattack. The constant blows makes his hands and feet tremble. What is this man's overwhelming power? It's not a magic trick. It's not a sharp sword. It was simply a stab and a sword, but how could it be so fast? You're overwhelmed by the power of the middle. 01 open. There is no room for me to develop 7 Hoa 12. Once, just once. Just 1 gap is enough. The gap is not there, but he was cornered until the end of the ring. It's always not good. A decisive blow to his head. You're still confused about what's going on. A blow with terrible power from you. The elders on Hoa Sun's side stood up. He did not believe in the performance of his disciples. I'm slowly falling down. He looked at his ass as if he didn't understand anything. I finally fell out of the ring. Everyone here is silent, because no one can think of this scenario. The color of his face reheated, sweating and panting. My ass is still standing there. Standing proudly in front of the South. He said coldly to the next person. The radio is still silent. All eyes are now on you. The old man wondered. It can be pressurized and stored in the kitchen, with basic swordsmanship. If we talk about, it can overwhelm you in the blink of an eye, then we're more than capable of doing that. But that boy, you can beat your opponent perfectly. With that basic swordsmanship, SAO. Now, we're not even sure we can do that. That bastard finally. What's he doing anyway? My intuition tells me to stop it. According to my current speculation, if you let that ass grow up, then one day, maybe South Korea will have to hide under its shadow. I don't know. That's right. It will be the same as in the past. After a while, he called the Korean. Go up and don't let it win too easily. Let's throw out that son of a bitch. I also went to the floor and told myself not to be careless. He glanced at his next opponent. I took a breath and said to myself, do not underestimate the opponent. Don't be too confident. If I don't give him a chance, it's like saving a bag. There's no reason to lose to a guy like him. But when I see your eyes, you've also wobbled a little bit. Your face is filled with fear. What is this feeling of tremendous pressure? A moment of silence came in front of him. He had a powerful sword, but he was in time. It's so strong that you have to put your knees on the floor. Here, what the hell is going on? Before I could recover, I found out. I just saw you. You were beaten for a spray of nasal blood. Teeth lips mixed. The speed of Chu's ass is terrible now. You're clinically unconscious when I can't get a hit. You are still standing. Confidently say the next. The people on the mountainside. I don't believe what I see. This magic sword. That boy has defeated the Korean. He is the second most powerful of the disciples.